Okay, I'm here with Kevin Downey Jr. at the port after a raucous show.
Thanks, man. It was a hoot.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Well, thanks for coming.
My pleasure.
And first I'd like to start, obviously, you kind of got your big break on America's Got Talent. And you got some really positive feedback from especially Howard Stern.
Yeah.
What was that like going through that experience?
I'll tell you this. Number one, it was the most fun I've ever had. I mean, just hours of sitting there, and people are complaining. And I'm thinking, man, we're getting free sandwiches, and we're going to be on TV. Like, what are you complaining about? This is living. And Howard Stern was great. Howie Mandel was great. The German supermodel is... She is. I mean, this whole crew hates her.
Yeah.
And Mel B's pretty cool. It was the most fun I've ever had. I loved it. And it really helped me in two ways. Number one, I got a lot of great gigs out of it. And I'm still getting great gigs out of it. And number two, what happened was it went from people coming up to me after shows saying, "Hey, dude, you were funny," to people coming up to me before the show saying, "Mr. Downey Jr., it's a pleasure to meet you. I voted for you 18 times on 3 different devices, and I just wanted to say hi." And
Wow.
that's a weird thing, but people don't do that, you know, until you get something like that. And then people treat you a little differently, and it was great.
The power of social media and the power of the internet now and television, right?
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Instagram is the new thing, by the way. That's what they tell me.
Now, well, maybe, is there a joke that kind of got you started? Is there something that clicked when you were young? Is there one joke that kind of your parents told you, or was there a reason that you really fell in love with comedy?
You know, it's a couple of things. A, everyone in my family is funny. So it was just joke, boom, boom, boom. Like I remember when I was like 19, I had a girlfriend come over for Christmas. Didn't say a word. And I said, "How come you didn't say anything?" She goes, "Because you're all so funny." And I didn't want to say something that I thought was funny. It wasn't. Like, who wants to bomb at Christmas at the Downey house? Like, all right, I get it. So, no, I mean, I grew up in Detroit. I didn't want to build cars. I studied to be a cop, but I lost my license, so that was done. And like the 14th time I got pulled over, this policeman goes, "You're never going to be a cop. What's plan B?" I said, "I don't know. I wouldn't mind going to New York and maybe being a comedian." He goes, "No," I said, "I want to be a comedian." He goes, "Go to New York. You won't have to drive there because they have subways."
Okay.
Because you're a threat on the road. 3 months later, my license, I couldn't drive, so I just went to New York. And with my brother, we just started living there. And then it took a couple of years because I was scared out of my pants. So I moved there when I was 20, started when I was 23. So like 27 years ago.
Wow. Now, let's transition to movies. The first thing you think of usually when you hear the name Downey Jr. is
Every day.
Someone else. I'm sure you get that all the time.
Every day. Like, I can't go to the bank without, "Excuse me, are you..." The best was, it's always, "Are you related? Are you related?" In Virginia, goes, "Excuse me, are you kin with that actor, man?" I go, "No, we're not kin." But every day.
Are you at least a fan?
Oh, I love him. I actually sent him a Facebook message. I just said, "Do people ask you if we're related every day too?" He never got back to me.
Wow, that's not surprising for some reason.
Not at all.
Okay, let's go to my favorite question. What's
Okay.
one of your favorite films?
Okay, here's the deal. I have first place, without a doubt, The Wizard of Oz, and second place is tied The Silence of the Lambs and Pope of Greenwich Village. Have you seen that?
I have not seen Pope of Greenwich Village. I've seen the other two.
It made me want to move to New York City.
Really?
And not even for good reason. I just thought, I need to be there. Yeah. Those are first place and two tied for second
Some
place.
very different picks there between Wizard of Oz and Silence of the Lambs.
Yep, completely different picks. They're all different. There was an off-Broadway play called Silence, and it was a musical of Silence of the Lambs. And I know the movie line by line by line. And so they're singing songs. I don't know if you want me to sing it.
Sure.
Go along. Go for it.
I smell your cunt. I smell, you know that movie? I smell your cunt. He sings it, and we're just screaming. We're kicking chairs. Funniest thing ever. But those are the three movies that I can never get sick of watching them. Ever.
And is it anything, is again The Wizard of Oz something childhood, or is that just...
Wizard of Oz is a childhood, because before VCRs, you could only watch a movie when it aired. And that aired every spring. So when we were kids, that was a big night. Like, get in the tub. We're going to have sundaes, sodas. We're going to have ice cream sodas, pour root beer or Verner's in Detroit. We drink Verner's ginger ale over vanilla ice cream. And Wizard of Oz, you know, it's because it's long too.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
we got to stay up a little later, you know, and that was great. But I love it. It's a childhood thing. But at the same time, if you watch that movie, the colors are still so vivid, you know?
Yeah.
It goes from black and white to boom. And it's a story of hope, never giving up, and just fighting the odds. Even when life is throwing flying monkeys at you, you just, boom, push through.
Yeah.
And it's just so cleverly done because everyone plays at least two characters in it, except for Dorothy. She's Dorothy.
Yeah.
But the Tin Man and all those guys, they're farmhands. And the Wizard, of course, is the guy with, you know, the stagecoach thing with the traveling show. But it's just such a story of like getting over, I don't want to say negativity, but when you're down, like, fight through.
Yeah,
which
goes really well with being a comedian, right? Because there's a lot of hard times.
Absolutely. I mean, there are times when, I mean, I've been doing it forever, and I'll audition for something, and I go, yeah, you know, we're not looking for it. But this guy doing it 4 years, this guy's going to be on TV next week. You're like, what? He's horrible. So you punch, man. You just punch those flying monkeys.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So Scarecrow, Tin Man, or Cowardly Lion?
Well, as a kid, Scarecrow, he has more time. You get to like him. But looking back, the Tin Man, who played him?
It was supposed to be Buddy Ebsen
Yes.
from the Beverly Hillbillies, but he had an allergic reaction to the.
That's damn good, yeah.
And then now I'm drawing a blank on the guy who actually played him, though.
Oh, so am I. And he's just great. He's just great. I mean, he doesn't get to do what Ray Bolger does as a Scarecrow. And check out how Ray Bolger got that part. Because they were going to move Buddy Ebsen into the Scarecrow. But he had already signed an agreement saying, I'll do it. And the Scarecrow's going to say, Scarecrow played by Ray Bolger. And they couldn't get out of that. So that's why they kept him and didn't drop him for Buddy Ebsen.
Wow.
But, God, what is his name? It's killing me. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can name them all. I can't think of him right now. I just think he's great. He's just awkward. And, like, I want to say something, but I can't. You know? He's just great. So I've always been a Tin Man sort of guy.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one, it would be... When I was a kid, though, honestly, like, flying monkeys were really cool, and I was always kind of for the bad guy. But when it came to that movie, like, I was just all for the good guys and getting through, and I was a Tin Man kid. And Silence of the Lambs is tied for second place with The Pope of Greenwich Village. I mean, Silence of the Lambs, come on.
What performances, first of all? Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins won an Oscar on like 13 minutes of film time, which is kind of unheard of in the world of film.
Yeah.
He's just so skeezy. Like, I saw that in a theater and I was creeped out.
Yeah.
In New York City, I saw it in the theater, people were screaming, ah!
It's one of those movies that you hear. Obviously, I was too young at that point to see that in theaters. But it's the same thing. You hear stories about Jaws, and people were jumping out of their seats. People were going back to see it 5-6 times just because it had such a profound effect.
I saw that as a kid, and I remember people not going into their swimming pools because of Jaws.
Yeah.
There are no sharks in a swimming pool in Detroit.
But they are in your imagination.
Yep, I swear to God. We'd go to whatever, the Great Lakes. We go, I'm not going, I saw Jaws. They're not here. There's nothing in there. I wish, will you do me a favor?
Sure.
Will you email me when you watch The Pope of Greenwich Village? It's such a classic New York City movie. Eric Roberts, Mickey Rourke, Burt Young is like a pretty big deal in it. And I mean,
cast.
Yeah, I would just watch that over and over and over, going, I'm going to live there someday, I'm going to live there someday, I'm going to live there someday. And it's not even a happy movie.
Yeah.
But you just see it and you go, yeah, I got to be in New York.
Sometimes those are better, though, because we're so used to the Hollywood cookie cutter films.
Yep.
Now, maybe to wrap up, would you mind finishing with a joke? Anything that comes to mind. Is there one that stands out in your head?
Why should women masturbate with these two fingers?
I have no idea.
Because they're mine.
Thank you so much.
Nikolai, thanks, man. Appreciate it.